Welcome to Justice Diaries, a record of truth, justice, and survival. There is a question at the heart of this episode. Who cries for the children of Shakahola? We have documented the hearings. We have followed the investigations. We have witnessed the slow weight of justice moving through the courts. But today we pause because this story is not only about the victims, the survivors, or the accused. It is also about the people who carried these children out of danger into safety and into the long journey of healing. Case workers are often forgotten, treated as if the tragedy passed around them, not through them. But the impact of a national catastrophe does not stop at the courtroom door. It does not spare those who had to make impossible decisions, who had to comfort families, who had to protect children living between fear and hope. And today in court, that impact will play out on a single individual, Hellen Mwikali Kimwele. Her testimony will not only establish facts, it will humanize the quiet relationships formed in the middle of trauma, the bonds created under pressure, and the emotional costs carried by those who stand between children and danger. This is where the episode begins, not with the law, but with the person who held the children before the court ever did. Hence, who cries for the children of Shakahola and the children in need of special protection in Kenya.
Mtu akishima amesema sitaki kula, amefast. Is that the position?
Kata kukula,
Have you brought any record to confirm whatever you're saying about hospital, kukula, kufast, kuomba? Have you brought any?
Chenye nilileta ni za hospital na nilikuwa nisha submit tayari before.
Saa hiyo ukitoa ushahidi umetoa chochote kuthibitisha?
Sijatoa chochote.
Haujatoa chochote.
Before we enter the courtroom, we must first understand the journey that brings Hellen Mwikali to the witness stand for the third time. In 2017, she was a social worker, younger, determined, assigned to the coastline of Malindi. Those were the first days she encountered children sleeping quietly away from society. Children not in school, children denied hospitals, children being shaped in isolation from society and from extended family and from anyone who did not believe what their parents believed in. Hence, the phrases we now hear of Mteule and Wataifa. Now, she didn't know that these early alarms would return years later as a national tragedy. By the time she became the manager of the Mayungu Children's Center, she had already carried hundreds of children through crisis. Children from Malindi, then from the wider Kilifi County. She became the first point of compassion for many who had never known safety. And then came Shakahola. Children from a forest with no schools, no hospitals, no social amenities, suddenly representing the whole country's failure to protect its most vulnerable. When she enters the courtroom today for the third time, she carries all of them, not just the Shakahola children, not just the ones she sheltered, but the long timeline of every child she has ever tried to save. Now, we wish to clarify about these courtrooms. We missed out recording the first case that was in Tononoka Children's Court, where children were testifying in protection about being tortured. We'll talk about that another day. But let's talk about the courtroom that we need to clarify. That the murder case is before the High Court of Kenya in the court of Honorable Lady Justice Diana Kaveta Mochache. This is the central trial, the one that will determine accountability for the deaths in Shakahola. It will turn the deaths into murder. Her courtroom is formal, structured, and anchored in law. Every word, every document, every data matters. Every date matters. It is here that Hellen brought that register from 2017, where 43 children were rescued and brought to the safety of Mayungo. That courtroom, the one that is likely to shake many people, is a separate proceeding before the Chief Magistrate at the Mombasa Law Courts, Honorable Alex Edoku. This is a manslaughter case, and its atmosphere is very different. Where Court 2 was defined by data and formal evidence, Court 3 becomes a bit more emotional because now we have to relive. On this day, we meet Prosecution Counsel Yasir Mohammed, who guides his examinations with empathy. He does not rush witnesses. He pauses where the emotions rise. Often he says quietly, "I am sorry for what you went through." Witnesses do not just recount events here, they relive them.
Ilinipa mshtuko mkubwa sana na kitu ambao sikuwa natarajia kama kwa hii dunia naweza ona kitu kama hiyo. Mwanadamu kwenda kuamua kukufa mwenyewe akiona. Sasa mimi mwenyewe pia iliniumiza sababu during that time hata nilikuwa na breastfeed mtoto wangu. Natoka Shakahola nikifika nashindwa hata nakula sababu zile vitu zenye nimejaa kwa kichwa changu. Zile uhai wa watu kungangana kule kumtoa kwa msitu, kumsaidia. Ilinilemea.
Pole sana kwa masaibu. And labda what steps did you take to be able to heal so that hata sisi wengine ambao labda tunafanya hiyo kesi tunaona hizo vitu labda utupatie advice na sisi?
Nikisema nimeheal nitakuwa nadanganya. Kuheal bado sijahili. Pengine nitahili watoto wakipata justice zao ama mwenye anafaa kupewa justice apewe justice yake. Hapo nitakuwa nimepata amani. Ndio nikiangalia safari kutoka 2017 mpaka sasa hizi 2023 bado niko nayo. Imekuwa mzigo kwangu.
Umesema kazi kwetu sasa. Sisi wenyewe ambao tunatafuta haki.
Ndio.
Now today we are capturing emotions on camera. The courtroom is a theater of evidence. It is here that Hellen Mwikali enters for the first time, carrying a journey that began long before these proceedings. From the press bench, a journalist steadies a large camera. Its lens scanning the room the way we all do, searching for human emotion. We have seen almost everything. The uneasy laughter of the accused, the rehearsed smiles, the blank, unreadable stares that reveal nothing but pain. Pain is rare in these proceedings. And on this day, the camera finds it not on the dock, but on the witness stand. In the quiet breaking of a frontline case worker who has carried 8 years of children's story inside her.
Yep.
Na the fourth accused alikuwa ameleta nani?
Babake Brenda Jeffa.
Babake Brenda Jeffa. Ambaye unajua kwa labda huyu Brenda yuko wapi leo?
Niliambiwa Brenda ameaga.
Ndio ameaga. Nani mwingine unaweza mtambua?
Paul Mackenzie.
Yuko wapi?
Kwa pale.
kuhusiana na watoto wake?
Watoto wake wako. Mwingine ni Michael. Michael nilikuwa naye 2017. Lakini hakukuwa kwangu, but nilijua Michael kotini.
Na unajua yuko bado?
Michael Mwere alikuwa na ndugu zake, Solomon na Samuel.
Michael Mwere unamwona leo?
Ndio.
Uko wapi?
Ni pale na Orange.
Na case number 10? Michael Mwere ya case number 10. Nani mwingine unakumbuka?
2017.
Na labda kuna wengine ambao wako hapa ambao unawatambua?
Wapo.
Nani?
2017 nilikuwa nimeona Mary, but sikuwa najua bwana yake.
Kumemwona
Mary
nani?
Kadzo.
Mary Kadzo. Mary Kadzo ni nani?
Mary dadake Betty. Mary Smart.
Maybe it's just, I think it's the problem of the position of the seating, maybe.
Even if they were seated next to each other, even if they were seated next to each other, it could have even been one. It could have even been worse. We understand that they want to do identification. The simplest way they can do is say that my clients are incorporated. But if you want to identify someone, just mention in the listing. But if a witness is being guided to say certain names, all they want is maybe to identify names. There is nothing what happened, say that.
I happily concede to that.
Wait, Mr. Ayaz. If they want to say that the witness is saying.
Now let's visit the rescue operation that is going to play out in this court. It all begins in 2023. And there are many stories in the news. But in the quiet of this is protected witness clips that belongs to the forensics team. In 2023, the quiet warnings of 2017 erupted into a humanitarian emergency. Hellen joined the frontline rescue mission at Shakahola, not only stabilizing traumatized children, but becoming the center of gravity for the entire crisis. Security agencies depended on her. Families overwhelmed her. Everyone wanted to find their loved one. Inside the rescue parameters, she protected children who had witnessed what she later describes as unfathomable. Older children were taken back into the forests, into the killing fields, to help investigators identify grave sites. They walked long distances through wild terrain, retracing routes once traveled in fear. They met survivors who carried grave secrets and grief behind their eyes. When the need to protect them grew, the children were removed from the Mayungu Center under her care and placed under strict protection. She has not seen them in years. She's not curious. She's worried. She's worried about their healing process. And the hardest part of this is she's going to have to reconnect the children she met in 2017 with the present day situation. She picks out one or two, and one of them is now the wife of the main suspect in this trial, Paul Denge Mackenzie. Her name is Rhoda, and she's been wearing a mask throughout most of the proceedings because she knows the cameras will catch up with her and probably connect her young life with this very old story.
Tutasoma kwa mabano. Tuanze na number 3 on the list.
Vipi?
Ambaye alikuwa na miaka mingapi?
13.
It's the list that it's in the book.
2017.
The 2017 when they received all the children.
In closing, across the country, the stories we have covered show a nation holding its breath, not out of fear of the courtroom alone, but out of fear that justice, once delayed, may now risk being denied. Families are waiting, communities are watching. The country is asking whether justice will come in time and whether it will come in a way that heals. The Shakahola tragedy has no name that fully captures the horror we continue to document. But as long as these proceedings continue, we honor the memory of those we lost, and the resilience of those who survived. This is Justice Diaries, a record of truth, a witness of history, a reminder that justice is a duty owed to a nation still searching for healing.